Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a deadly duo in love that loves reacting to some death battle.
Yes, we do.
So this is Death Battle Venom versus Crona, Marvel versus Soul Eater. And if you want all of our death battle reactions, we have a playlist down below in the description of this video. Okay, let's do this. I don't know anything about Crona, so I'm gonna have a big bias going into this.
Yep.
It's always nice to have a best friend attached to your hip, like me and my shotgun leg.
But these two take their friends even further.
Hey!
Venom, the lethal symbiote and Spider-Man's best frenemy.
And Crona, the deadly demon sword from
Ooh.
Soul Eater.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. At the beginning of time, in the faraway reaches of space, the Clintar rose from a living darkness. One of these amorphous symbiotes was Venom.
Who was a freaking loser? Hey, don't look at me, all the goop aliens were saying it. So they kicked the poor slime ball straight off the planet.
In its exile, the symbiote underwent a number of misadventures which firmly shaped its personality. It bonded to a heroic Kree soldier rescuing refugees, a violent monster who committed genocide, and apparently Deadpool.
Damn, no wonder Venom's so messed up in the head.
Eventually, the symbiote was discovered by Peter Parker, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
It gave him a pretty slick black suit and awesome
Diet
new
is chocolate
powers.
and brains.
But after
Yep.
finding out it was a confused, raging psychopathic alien, Pete decided to exercise it with the power of Christian rock.
A wise decision, although ill-timed, as this event would cause the symbiote to finally meet its greatest partner, Edward Brock.
Eddie was a journalist with the unluckiest backstory ever. While trying to uncover the identity of a serial killer, he blamed the wrong guy. The same day he published his article, Spidey caught the real killer, who lived right next door to the dude Eddie blamed.
Long story short, Eddie was fired from his job, divorced by his wife, and disowned by his father.
Who already blamed Eddie for his wife dying in childbirth.
On top of all of that, Eddie learned he developed adrenal cancer, with only a few months left to live.
Man, and I thought 2020 was rough. I almost don't blame him for becoming a supervillain.
With all hope lost, he begged God to take it all away, and got an answer. The symbiote.
Just like Captain Planet, with their powers combined, these two losers became a super loser. Well, no, they actually became a horrifying monster with all of Spider-Man's powers and
Like
some.
Frank Sinatra and dogs,
Hatred
okay.
of Spider-Man caused the symbiote to bond to Eddie like no
too.
host ever before. They were perfect, a terror in the night, an unstoppable demon. They were Venom.
It even cured Eddie's cancer.
Sort of, it's complicated.
Apart from Spider-Man's webbing and web-crawling powers, Venom can use shape-shifting to mold his body into cool doodads. Swords, shields, tendrils, worm monster things, even wings. Yeah, imagine seeing this guy flying outside your window.
That was so
at
cool. What happened in
night.
Spider-Man 2?
Well, good luck sleeping ever again.
Venom can camouflage his entire body, heal severe wounds like impalement and lost limbs, see all around him at once, and psychically project emotions onto others.
Normally, this just makes people feel sorry for themselves, like Wiz on Tinder. But one time he convinced a bunch of other symbiotes that life was meaningless and they killed themselves. Shit, that's dark.
If desperate, the symbiote can even invade the bodies of others and make them burst from inside out.
Gross and awesome. But if he doesn't want to pop them like a fun balloon, he can just take over their body like a creepy puppet master.
While attached to a victim, Venom can control them by fusing the symbiote to their nervous system, specifically the brainstem and frontal lobes. Fighting off this mind control is extremely difficult
brain claws.
unless you have powers that can directly counter it, such as another symbiote.
Oh god, aliens, tentacles, and mind control? Are we sure this episode is rated E for everyone, or do we need to start blurring stuff?
Don't worry, aside from being a horrible mass murderer, Venom's stories are completely wholesome.
Right.
Venom proved a dangerous thorn in Spider-Man's side and frequently ruined his life, even taking a page out of my favorite book, The Most Dangerous Game, and hunting him on a private island.
Yeah, he was the coolest rival ever, but over the years, things kinda calmed down a bit. They even teamed up every so often.
See, even with so much anger, Eddie had a legitimate desire to protect others. As a teenager stealing his dad's car, he accidentally ran over and killed a child. Despite his desire to confess, his father forced him him to plead innocent and rig the jury. The guilt has weighed him down ever since.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure.
while Venom does have a hunger for human brains, he'd rather eat the face off a criminal than an innocent person.
Venom's as tough as they come. He's survived Ghost Rider's penance stare. He's strong enough to toss a tank hundreds of feet up, and fast enough to take down Spidey 2099, who once caught Mjolnir while it was moving 2,000 times the speed of sound.
Although Venom does not possess the spider sense that allows Parker to react in microseconds, he can still keep up with all the usual Spidey gallery. Plus, while symbiotes have a severe weakness to high-pitched sound and heat, he's developed resistances to them.
Like when he took this giant explosion, or when he survived a sonic scream from some mutant gremlins that shattered all glass within 10 miles.
While he may be tougher to take down than most other symbiotes, Venom never fully overcame his weaknesses. However, his symbiotic genes provide far more help than harm. This includes traits and memories from other hosts, like Scorpion and Flash Thompson.
Wait. Bullets are a genetic trait? How do I pass that down?
Venom would certainly need a lot of firepower to survive an encounter with the symbiote god.
Oh, geez, here we go.
At first, the Clintar symbiotes were seen as a peaceful people, but turns out they were actually living weapons forged by the primordial deity Null in an attempt to conquer the universe.
And I bet next up, Marvel decides they're magic maple syrup people from Asgardian IHOP. But okay, cosmic sludge made by alien Satan. Let's go with that.
Despite it all, Eddie and the symbiote have proven they're far more than the dark legacy the Clintar were intended for. They've even gained the respect of the Avengers and eventually considered Spider-Man a friend. Sort of. It's complicated.
Eddie really is the best pal Venom could have found. And let's be real, he just looks freaking badass.
Yeah.
Everywhere, even in your nightmares.
In ancient times, a demonic being known as the Kishin ravaged humanity, nearly driving all mankind into the depths of madness. This monster could only be defeated and sealed away by the god of death.
So, why is the literal god of death so goofy looking? You ever seen Death Note? Hell, even Thanos' girlfriend is scarier than this clown.
If you are unfamiliar with the world of Soul Eater, prepare yourself.
Yeah.
It's different.
Oh my god.
Not one in a return of the apocalypse, Death and his oven mitts founded a school, Death Academy.
Here, warriors called Meisters would train to fight evil using the power of their souls.
They even got neat demon weapons that doubled as people. Together, they learned courage, chivalry, unbreakable friendship. You know, all that anime crap.
Crona Gorgon was not one of these students.
Buckle up, it's all Gloomsville from here. Deal with it.
I don't think I know how to deal with this situation.
Throughout their childhood, Crona was abused by their mother, Medusa, a witch obsessed with the legendary Kishin.
You can see where this is going. Anime Uma Thurman was such a fangirl, she
Uma
figured,
Thurman.
hey, why don't I make my own Kishin? So she used her child as a guinea pig in a bunch of crazy experiments. You know, it kind of sounds like something you do, Wiz.
Don't be silly, I only use actual guinea pigs. Part of Medusa's great experiment included bonding Crona to a weapon, much like the Meisters of Death Academy. However, joining with
Weaknesses, stress, and
Ragnarok
loneliness?
was a bit more literal.
Ragnarok used to be your run-of-the-mill transforming weapon person until Medusa melted him alive in black blood.
Black blood being another experiment of hers.
Full name
Crona's
Ragnarok.
own blood is, in fact, this same black blood, which they can remotely control. It can be used to heal wounds and even harden as a sort of internal armor.
Cooking rags in black blood turned him into a brand new weapon that was literally poured into Crona's bloodstream.
From that point on, Crona and Ragnarok were two halves of the same person. The meek and tortured child firmly attached to their loud and brazen weapon.
And Raggy has that black blood control too. They can yank poor Crona around like a puppet. They can use black blood to create wings, thorny vines, all kinds of weapons, and big ass needles. Ugh, I hate needles. What's up with that mouth when he transforms into a sword? That thing's messed up.
Like the Meisters, Crona can wield their own soul in combat, amplified by Ragnarok as a technique called scream resonance. Think of it like hooking an electric guitar up to an amp, though more akin to a screeching banshee on LSD.
I didn't know you play.
I don't. It's incredibly powerful, causing internal damage to foes and making Ragnarok vibrate to increase his cutting power. Hey, are you okay?
What?
With this weapon at their side, Crona set out on a quest to become a Kishin, which required quite a lot of homicide.
Yeah, Ragnarok can absorb the souls of dead people, and supposedly enough souls will turn Crona into the Kishin. So they went around slaughtering hundreds of people.
Despite their name, Death Academy wasn't exactly a fan, particularly their star student, Maka Alburn.
Don't worry, she and Crona ended up becoming good friends. Until they weren't. Sort of. It's complicated.
As a pawn in Medusa's mission, Crona gained several levels of new potential. Notably, after gaining or absorbing the powers of the monstrous Black Clown, the Demon Tool Brew, and
Black
even
Clown?
Ashura, the original Kishin.
All of which increased Crona's abilities, especially the Black Blood. Now Crona could turn their entire body into goop, and the slightest touch could inflict madness. That's madness with a capital M, by the way.
This madness is a corruptive effect that causes targeted variants of delusion or obsession, often spread as a wavelength. The wavelength of Crona's mad blood specifically causes violent psychosis.
Crona may be a pawn, but they're a badass. They can cut through a whole ghost ship, cover the moon with sound waves, open the moon's mouth? What the hell is wrong with that moon?
Crona and
my God.
Ragnarok have held their own against multiple Death Academy students, including Maka, Death the Kid, and Black Star.
Sometimes all at once.
Kid once flew from Nevada to Egypt in less than a minute, and Black Star is even faster. He's dodged lasers and been tracked moving over 20 kilometers in 6 microseconds while approaching Baba Yaga Castle.
And Crona's been able to make enough mad blood to crush a whole goddamn Ukrainian city.
While this city isn't named, we can use a similar metropolitan area in Ukraine, Kiev, for instance. With this in mind, Crona must have created over 9 trillion tons of black blood.
Holy crap.
Enough to fill over 6 billion Olympic swimming pools.
But Crona's a big leap from invincible. They've had their shit kicked in plenty of times, and their hardened black blood can only block so much.
Even then, Medusa's plan ultimately succeeded. After years of scheming, Crona absorbed the power of Ashura and became a Kishin.
Well, more like Kishin absorbed Crona, but close enough.
But with the power of
Surviving
friendship,
down by a death
Crona
sight.
ironically wound up defeating the Kishin once and for all. Despite their life being nothing but destruction, Crona was the one who ultimately saved the world.
With an added side effect of a new madness wavelength that made everyone obsessed with boobs. Truly a positive effect on people everywhere.
Just give up. I'm tired of trying to figure out how to deal with you.
I'm going for Venom for 5.
Crona for 10.
Ooh, okay.
Yep.
Why do you think Crona?
The whole sound and frequency thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was all in on Venom and definitely had a bias in part just because that's the only character I knew, but also Venom is really strong. I mean, he's very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And all the symbiote powers and what he's absorbed makes him seem indestructible, but his one Achilles heel has always been high frequency sound. So I don't know if Crona's going to be able to dish that out to the extent that's necessary to win, but she has it in her arsenal, and so I'm like, okay, maybe she has a chance.
Yeah, I mean, and quickness, it seems like Chrono's gonna be quicker because dodging lasers instead of speed of sound, which is what Venom, they talked about him being as fast as Spider-Man 2099, and he caught Thor's hammer. I just think that maybe, like, I mean, because I know sound is going to be his Achilles heel, so why would they pair these two together? And I feel like that's, a red herring. And it's going to be enough to, like, distract and disorient Venom, but she doesn't have anything that can really kill him. So I'm hoping Venom's going to win. It's really more of a loyalty thing. That's why I only bet $5. I got you for Venom.
Attention, you turd. Ah, lucky day. 2 brains for the price of 1.
I don't think I can handle this right now.
Oof.
time.
Yeah, not gonna be that easy. Oh no.
He's gone? What is he?
We are the ones hiding under your bed. Teeth
Nice.
ground sharp and eyes glowing red.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh no, the black blood.
I know. It's black.
Oh, the crazy moon.
I got stupid!
Got the wings out. Yeah, the freakiest thing is the moon. Come on, Venom.
We are the darkness. We are your nightmare. We are Venom.
I hate you.
He could still come back. Yeah, okay.
Man, these symbiotes really need to stop picking fights with pink-haired anime characters. They're f***ing crazy.
Venom was certainly a tricky opponent. His shape-shifting camouflage and multitude of weapons kept Crona on guard. Unfortunately, Venom lacked the power needed to keep up a prolonged fight.
Crona matching Black Star's speed makes for a pretty clear difference. Crona could reach Mach 9000, while Venom only topped out around Mach 2000.
And while Venom has shown incredible physical strength that puts Spider-Man to shame, he could never compete with 9 trillion tons of mad blood.
Which, by the
Fair.
way, that precise control of the black blood totally meant Crona could push out any of Venom's attempt at being a puppeteer.
And Crona's shown even greater feats of strength as well. Assuming all of the moon's teeth are similar in size and stone, opening this jaw is equivalent to lifting over 10,000 tons.
Oh,
The
damn.
nail in Eddie's coffin was the fact that half of Crona's arsenal was sound-based, basically Venom's kryptonite.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Recall that Venom did gain a notable resistance to sound attacks, so we needed to determine if Crona's sonic waves were great enough to effectively harm him.
You know those gremlins who shattered every window in 10 miles with a screech attack? The symbiote barely survived it, so that's a good high end to look at.
It takes at least 100 decibels to shatter glass normally. To cover that much distance, the combined sonic blast must have equaled about 244 decibels. In contrast, in order to engulf the moon, Crona's sonic waves must have reached over 275 decibels.
And yes, that's considering the
Okay.
weird size and shape of the moon. Ugh, just look at that freaky thing.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
275
Creepy.
doesn't seem that much more than 244, but decibels increase on a logarithmic rate. This means Crona's sound attack was actually over 1,000 times stronger.
Vanny for sure wasn't surviving that.
Eddie and the symbiote held their own with versatility, but Crona and Ragnarok had them beat in destructive power, blistering speed, and an arsenal that could take advantage of Venom's key weakness.
Looks like Venom just got Ragnaroked.
The winner is Crona.
Okay, so caught up a little bit more. You got 220 and I have 265. I felt like I had enough of a cushion because I've been crushing it this year. So I went with loyalty with Venom, even though, I mean, Crona clearly had the advantage. So yeah, I still feel all right about my pick.
I'm glad that I finally scored a win on one of these. I feel good.
This is how it starts. You start your winning streak. Because last one we both picked Metal Sonic, and we had a
when
loss.
we both win, I don't count it because it doesn't shorten the distance.
Okay.
So
All
this is,
right,
I think, maybe the first time this year that I've actually shortened the distance between us.
Possibly. Yeah, maybe.
I think so. I've been on a pretty good losing streak. I've had a good run.
It's a good run. All right, we broke it now. It's time to start the winning streak. We'll both start a winning streak, though.
I think I could just start it.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
What'd you think of the battle?
I thought it was good. I liked the animation. I'm curious to know more about Crona. Like, I felt so bad for her. This entity that's like punching her in the head from behind. I mean, just the poor kid, her weaknesses are stress and loneliness. And I'm like, my God, it seems like that's her life. Like, she's just being abused. But I thought the animation was cool. I liked the mashup, and I liked the different tactics that they both employed. And it was interesting to see the character of Crona because she did fight as herself and with the sword and have a power, but then also she wasn't just fighting by herself because she's got this evil entity that's like able to come out of the sword and be behind her and support in between abusing her in this weird relationship. So yeah, I enjoyed it. What about you?
I think the best part was the Nightmare Before Christmas reference when Venom dropped that.
I'm the thing hiding under your bed. Oh,
Yes.
Loved it.
That was great. And, it was a nice We Are Venom moment as well, even though didn't end up winning the battle. The moon is freaky as hell.
Oh my God, yeah. So disturbing.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like if you've ever seen any kind of depiction of a jester in some sort of disturbing psychopathic kind of way. I don't know. There's just something about the way they designed the moon's face that made me think of a psychopathic jester.
Okay. Yeah, see that.
Those are disturbing.
And Soul Eater just seems wild. I mean, we're just kind of now, baby steps getting into a little bit more and more anime, but like it seems like there's certain kind of animes that are just like really out there that I don't know if we'll ever be able to tackle. Like something like Soul Eater just looks batshit crazy.
A little bit. Although I'm fascinated by the whole idea of Crona and her mom is Medusa, and like Medusa basically like Dr. Frankensteining her daughter because her daughter didn't have this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a story there that I'm very intrigued by.
All right, then. Maybe we will check it out one of these days. Let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments. And if you want early ad-free access, check out the description of this video for a link to Patreon. Thanks so much for checking out our reaction for Death Battle, Venom versus Crona, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.